Welcome to Football with Cheez. It's finally here. My top 100 list for the 2026 NFL Draft. Well, actually, I threw an extra name in there. I did top 101. I did this last year because I wanted to get Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in there. He was drafted in the 7th round by Washington and, was a lot better than that draft position. So I stuck another player that's probably going late, put him at number 101. Just really love talking about this prospect. Sorry this wasn't out earlier, but, life gets in the way. But this takes a lot of research. I even made a few changes last night. Not many. After the Lights Out podcast, me and Mike every Tuesday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Link in the description. After that, I wasn't really tired, so I started watching some more film. There were a few players that I heard are going to go higher than consensus. So I went back, watched a couple of players in a game I hadn't rewatched, and yeah, I actually moved up a few players and moved down another. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss one of my videos. I have more content coming. I might do a whole 7-round Packers mock. I got a few requests for that. I've done some team-only mocks, either 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round. Might do a few more of those. Tomorrow, my final mock draft, and then Friday morning, I'll release my 2nd round mock after the 1st round is over. If I'm not too tired, I will record a video right after the draft. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, I grouped each player in 10. It's not necessarily the tiers, but I just grouped them in 10. It's just easier for this video. And I talk about 1 or 2 each 10 instead of just going over each player or say one thing. I want to get a little bit deeper with certain prospects, especially guys that I have higher than most draft analysts. And that's another reason why this took so long. Just doing research, trying to figure out why some of these people in the media just aren't higher on these players. But didn't change my rankings whatsoever. I'm not influenced by their, terrible takes. Okay, so Red Murdoch, linebacker, Buffalo. I talked about him in the defensive rankings video. I'll link the offense and defensive ranking videos at the end. It'll appear on the screen. Red Murdoch is not going probably before the 6th round. He is a great early down linebacker. He's undersized. He is a fumble forcing machine. Probably don't want to play coverage, but just one of my favorite prospects in the draft. And he sounds like a 1930s film noir detective, Red Murdoch, out of Buffalo. I really want my Packers to draft him, but it'd be pretty cool if he just stayed in Buffalo for the Bills. Okay, Logan Jones, center, Iowa. I've talked about this many times on my channel. Both him and Bo Stevens at 95 were not in my initial top 100. I moved them each up 10 spots because Iowa offensive linemen always seem to do better than the draft slot. So Logan Jones, center, Iowa. Bud Clark, safety, TCU. Brian Parker, center, guard, Duke. Charles Demings, cornerback, Stephen F. Austin. Definitely more aggressive on him. Darrell Jackson Jr., defensive tackle, Florida State. Bo Stevens, guard, Iowa. Cyrus Allen, wide receiver, Cincinnati. Matt Golban, center, Michigan State. Kieran Crawford, edge, Auburn. And Katron Allen, running back, Penn State. So we're going to talk about Cyrus Allen and Matt Golban. So Cyrus Allen, I don't even think he's top 150 consensus. He's 5'11", 183, so he is small and ran a 4.49. Typically, you want someone who's around 180 pounds to run at least a 4.40 40. I do not care. His broad jump and his short shuttle were absolutely elite. He has lateral quickness, agility, short area explosion. He impressed at the Senior Bowl. He has some of the best hands in the draft, and he will destroy zone defenses. I just think he's one of the most underrated players in this draft. And if you look at a lot of players I'm going to talk about on this list, they're in the Big 12. I think there is a little bit of a Big 10 SEC bias when it comes to ranking these prospects, especially by draft analysts in the media. When in doubt, he played in the Big 10, he played in the SEC. So let's put him higher than the player that played in the Big 12. But the Big 12 was really good this year. So I think that's the issue with players like Cyrus Allen and some more that we'll get to. Matt Golban, center, Michigan State. He had a terrible workout, no doubt about it, but he explodes off the line. He's got a strong anchor. He's a good pass blocker. He's a good run blocker. He's got guard experience. He's a team captain. I just think he can be a starter in the league, maybe like a Tyler Biadasz. That's not a great comparison as far as play style, but Tyler Biadasz, when he was drafted by the Cowboys, was somewhere between the 9th and 13th best center in the league. Last 2 years with Washington, probably more 7 to 10. And that's what I think Matt Golban can be. Somebody between 7th and 13th best center. But that has value. And I think he could be a steal in the 4th round. Okay. Next 10. Gabe Akis, edge, Illinois. Zakee Wheatley, safety, Penn State. Max Clare, tight end, Ohio State. I don't have tight end in there. Let's fix that. Okay. Davison Innocent, God, I hope I said it right, cornerback, Ohio State. Joshua Joseph, edge, Tennessee. Caleb Proctor, defensive tackle, Southeastern Louisiana. I can't spell Louisiana either. Good Lord, why didn't it spell check that? Okay. Malik Muhammad, cornerback, Texas. Keldrick Falk, edge, Auburn. Yes, I have him lower than just about anyone. I just don't think he's ever going to be a good pass rusher, and that's the most important thing for an edge. TJ Parker, Clemson, another player. His film sucks. And Sam Roush, tight end, Stanford. So we're going to talk about Caleb Proctor first. Most people, I think, have him in the 4th or 5th round. Small school guy. He's 6'2", 291, 33-inch arms, 4'7", 40. He is so athletic. He's probably an interior pass rusher only, but that has value in the 3rd round. Remember Milton Williams, drafted by the Eagles in the 3rd round, went on to have 2 sacks in the Super Bowl, got a huge contract for the Patriots. Interior pass rush is, one, hard to find, and more important than edge pass rush, because when you have pressure in your face, where are you going to go if you're quarterback? Backwards. So I think he will go in the 3rd round. Probably won't play on early rundowns, but I don't care. The other player I want to talk about is Sam Roush, tight end for Stanford. There are a few tight ends on this list. He is 6'6", 267, and he has a 9.99 relative athletic score, which means at the combine for the last, I think it's 30 years, he's in the 99.9 percentile of athlete for the position. His jumps were incredible in the 97th percentile in both. He is extremely raw as a receiver and route runner. Some games he just looked really bad as far as receiver goes, but he's already a tremendous blocker, and with that athleticism, his upside is terrific. I would love to see him go to a team that already has an established tight end, and he can learn behind him, be maybe a number 3 tight end this year, just come in blocking downs, and eventually develop into a really good tight end. Green Bay Packers, go get him. Okay. 80 to 71, Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama. Guy that I had around 71, 72, it kind of moved down. I've talked about him a lot. You can search my channel for a video breakdown of him. I just think he's not going to be a starter. I think he could be a really good backup, but not a starter. Jay-Sean Barham, edge, Michigan. More on him in a second. Grayson Holton, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. He would be higher if he played as well as he did in the 2024 season, but I still really like him. Antonio Williams, wide receiver, Clemson. Oscar Delp, tight end, Georgia. Player I moved up a lot. Caleb Banks, defensive tackle, Florida. I'm lower on him than most. Zachariah Branch, wide receiver, Georgia. Please stop getting arrested, Georgia players. Derek Moore, edge, Michigan. Trey Zune, center guard or tackle, Texas A&M. More on him in a second. And Jalen Kilgore, safety, South Carolina. Oh, okay, we're going to talk about Trey Zune right now. So he played left tackle at Texas A&M and played it well. He's one of the best pass-blocking offensive linemen in this class. Did play a little center. Most people think that will be his position. But he has a strong anchor and pass protection. He did a really good job against Ruben Bain. 5-position versatility. His testing was off the charts. 10-yard split was 1.7, so he's very explosive. I do not understand how he is not in everyone's top 100. In fact, I'm talking myself into it. I should probably have him more around 60 than 72. And he's a team-first guy, 2-time captain. Versatility is value. 3rd round, you want your team to draft a player like Trey Zune. And Jay-Sean Barham, edge rusher, Michigan. He is probably a designated pass rusher only, 240 pounds, but he is a good combination of quick first step and power. He switched from off-ball linebacker to edge, so he needs to learn more pass rush moves, so he's pretty raw. I would actually call him a poor man's Arvell Reese. What does that mean? He's not as good at anything Arvell Reese does, but he's a very similar style player and really good value here in the 3rd round. If there's one knock on him, he headbutted a ref versus Ohio State, which is kind of weird because he's a very quiet, very chill dude, so can't do that in the NFL. I just really love his ceiling, and I wouldn't even hate it if someone used a late 2nd round pick on him because of the upside. Okay. 70-61. Austin Barber, offensive tackle, Florida. Dallin Bentley, tight end, Utah. We're going to talk about both those guys in a second. Josiah Trotter, linebacker, Missouri. Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson. Really disappointing player. Short arms. Mike Washington Jr., running back, Arkansas. I have running back before junior. Okay. Good job, Cheez. Elijah Surratt, wide receiver, Indiana. Sam Hecht, center, Kansas State. I think of all the centers in draft, he can start right away for you. Genesis Smith, safety, Arizona. Romello Height, edge, Texas Tech. Watch his film, and someone explained to me how he won't go in the first 2 rounds. Once again, Big 12 bias. For some reason, their prospects aren't as high as they should. And Jennings Dunker, guard, Iowa. So here's another Big 12 guy. Dallin Bentley, tight end, Utah. I'm bang the table for this dude. There are some people don't have him in the top 150. Some boards, I have 100 spots higher. I have him at 69. Okay? He was a 0-star recruit, but he's extremely athletic, 9.37 relative athletic score. He probably has the best ball skills of any tight end in this class. 0 drops this past year. He played in a run-first offense in Utah, which I think was very good for him because he had to become a good blocker, and he did. He improved as a blocker throughout the season, and he is so explosive off the line. He's a good route runner. He gets yards after catch. So how is he not in everyone's top 100 board? The only thing I can think of is he is 25 years old because he went on a Mormon mission. Okay. Only 1 year production, I get it, but that year was amazing. So 3rd round? Absolutely. I think he can develop into a Tucker Kraft-like player. I'm not saying he will be Tucker Kraft. Not saying that at all. But it's hard to ignore some of the comparisons to Tucker Kraft's game. And he's already a better blocker at this point than Tucker Kraft was when he came out of South Dakota State. Just saying, love Dallin Bentley. If you're a regular to my channel, you know I will not shut up about him. He is my draft crush this year. Austin Barber, tackle, Florida. Okay, if you throw out the Miami game against Ruben Bain and the Texas A&M game against Cassius Howell, he was terrific this year. He was terrible in those games. A lot of it was technique. A lot of it was footwork. And I think he improved as the season went on. That's what I want to see. If you struggle early on, but have the talent, did you improve throughout the season? And he really did. He's 6'7", 320, 33-inch arms with a 9.77 relative athletic score. He's already a terrific run blocker. He does need to clean up his footwork, like I said, as a pass protector. So at worst, to me, he's a swing tackle. But if he improves his footwork, I think he can be a starting left tackle. And I was texting back and forth with a friend of mine, and I asked him about Austin Barber. He's a Florida fan. And he said he reminds me of Will Campbell. And Will Campbell went 4th overall to the Patriots. Now, he doesn't move as well as Will Campbell, and he's a little bit taller. Like, Will Campbell probably can be a really good guard. We saw him really struggle in the Super Bowl. But that's an interesting comp. And what his point was is he was very good for the most part, but against a really tough edge rusher. So the guy's supposed to be first-round picks. He struggled. So Austin Barber, he's, 70 in my board? A lot of people don't even have him in the top 100. And you compare him to Will Campbell? I don't think it's really good for Will Campbell. Just throwing it out there. I do think Will Campbell is a better prospect, but I like Austin Barber a lot. I think he can develop into starting left tackle. 60 through 51, Julian Neal, cornerback, Arkansas. Another guy that I have a lot higher. It's almost like Arkansas's defense was bad, so we're going to blame the best player on that defense, but I think Julian Neal can develop into a great zone corner. Emmanuel Pregnon, guard, Oregon. I'm a little lower on him than most. He could even go in the first round, but one thing that annoyed me about him is as the season went on, his play dropped off. It wasn't as good as early in the year, so I had to move him down. Lee Hunter, defensive tackle, Texas Tech. Potential character concerns, and his workout scared me off, or he would be higher. He has great film, though. Zion Young, edge, Missouri. Bruce Lance? That's Bryce. Oh, my God. Bryce Lance, wide receiver, North Dakota State. Tall and fast. We love those guys. Jadarian Price, running back, Notre Dame. He's got to improve as a receiver out of the backfield and picking up the blitz. If he does, then he could be really good. Unbelievable runner, great vision. Keontae Scott, cornerback, Miami. His workout was unbelievable. I think he can play slot corner, maybe safety, maybe that slot corner safety hybrid. So he's definitely valuable. I think he will go in the second round. Chris Bell, wide receiver, Louisville. If he didn't get hurt, he would go higher than this. Some people think he'd be a first-round pick if he didn't tear his ACL. Deshaun Stribling, wide receiver, Ole Miss. Probably the best run-blocking wide receiver in this class. Chris Brazzell, wide receiver, Tennessee. He is first-round talent, but he played in that funky Tennessee offense. It's hard to evaluate wide receivers, and he's got such a thin frame. Okay, Julian Neal, Arkansas is the picture here. Chris Bell. I kind of just talked about them, trying to go a little faster. But Julian Neal, one of the best zone corners in this class, and he's 6'1", 205, or 6'1 and a half. He's got good size, good instincts. Just surprised more people aren't in on him. And like I said, Chris Bell, he's a terror after the catch. He's a bully. He's 6'1", 222. You can give him running back snaps. You can use jet sweeps, reverses. He is a total gadget player, running back, wide receiver hybrid, and he is so hard to bring down in the open field. Very fun player to watch. Okay. 50 through 41. Here is my top 50. Got some coffee. Hang on one sec. I'm recording this on a Wednesday morning. Still trying to wake up. D for defense here. And we have a bunch of defensive players in 50 through 41. Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, Texas, projects to be a starting weak side linebacker. Trey Dan Stukes, cornerback, Arizona. I'm hearing he's going higher than this. Top 40, maybe even slip into the first round. He is a starting nickel corner from the get-go. Keith Abney, cornerback, Arizona State. I am higher on him most. He is pro-ready. Not the best athlete. I don't care. They said the same thing about Kamari Lassiter, second-round pick of the Texans. He's been very good. I think Keith Abney, his ceiling is number 2 corner, and his floor is number 3 corner. Just very technically sound. Jake Golday, linebacker, Cincinnati. Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. Eli Stowers, tight end, Vanderbilt. Not much of a blocker, but I had him originally in the 60s. Just kept moving him up because he's going to be a weapon as a receiver in the NFL. I like him more as a big receiver than an inline tight end. Brandon Cisse, cornerback, South Carolina. Love his upside. Still has some work to do. R. Mason Thomas, edge, Oklahoma. Kalen Rutledge, guard or center, Georgia Tech. A.J. Halsey, safety, LSU. Okay, I just talked about Trey Dan Stukes a little bit. He might have the best instincts in this class. Really good zone corner. Once again, I think he might even go in the first round. He is an older prospect. That's the only thing that might hurt him. And Kalen Rutledge, guard / center at Georgia Tech. He's getting some first-round buzz as well. He is a terrific run blocker. May never be a great pass blocker, but if your team likes to run the ball, and the fact that he might be able to even move over to center, or at least back up there, versatility is value. I would not be surprised if he does not get past the Raiders pick 36 overall. 40 to 31. Dominique Orange, defensive tackle, Iowa State. Another Big 12 guy that is criminally underrated. Talk about him in a second. Chris Johnson, quarterback, San Diego State. Most people have him higher. The small school competition is the only reason why he's not in my top 30. Just scares me a little bit. He did run well, and a lot of people expect him to go in the first round. Christian Miller, defensive tackle, Georgia. Chase Besantis, guard, Texas A&M. Another guy that's getting first-round buzz. A lot of guards are. Colton Hood, cornerback, Tennessee. Avion Terrell, cornerback, Clemson. Moved him down because his workout was so bad. Ted Hurst, wide receiver, Georgia State. More on him in a second. Cassius Howell, edge, Texas A&M. Texas A&M? Okay, there we go. D'Angelo Pons, cornerback, Indiana. If he was 5'11", even 5'10 and a half, he would be a lock in the first round. He's about 5'8 and 3/4, but he can do everything well. He's so fluid. And then Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, Ohio State. He's not going to give you much pass rush, but he is one of the best run-stopping defensive tackles in this class. Okay, so Big Citrus. Here's what I like about him. Let me get some more coffee real quick. Every team needs someone like this. He will help out your interior rushers, your pass rushers, because he will eat blocks, and that will force teams to block the other guys one-on-one. That's what you need. He's willing to do it. Plus, there are some times in the running game, he just blew the plays up, just with his strength. He's about 6'2", 325. That's what you want. I don't want a 6'6" nose tackle. I want someone that's shorter, that can get low, get underneath those blocks. I think he's a starting nose tackle. Obviously, he's not going to play on passing downs, doesn't give you any pass rush whatsoever. But I'm just a little surprised that some people have him rated in the 70s. But I love Big Citrus. I don't think he gets past the Vikings in the second round. I think they'll take him. And Ted Hurst, wide receiver, Georgia State. Going to talk about him here. Another one of my draft crushes. He's 6'4", 206, ran a 4'4", 240 over an 11-inch broad jump. He was also extremely productive. Georgia State, of course. He runs crisp and fluid routes. He catches the ball away from his body and secures it quickly. If you're regular to my channel, you know I like receivers that catch the ball away from their body and then secure it quickly. He is a natural separator and has good ball tracking skills. Kind of reminds me of Jordy Nelson a little bit. I think Jordy Nelson wasn't as fast and maybe better after the catch, but just the way they move just reminds me of him. And Jordy Nelson was a very good receiver for many years. And Ted Hurst impressed at the Senior Bowl. The big issue with him is he had too many drops and struggled against press man. He will have to get stronger and fix that. But so did Cardinal Tate. He struggled against press man as well. So there might be a little bit of a learning curve. It might be year 2 or 3 before he breaks out, but he has number 1 receiver potential, number 2 at worst, in my opinion. He just needs some reps, and he played well against Vandy. So when he went up against an SEC team, he did play well. Okay, top 30. Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson. C.J. Allen, linebacker, Georgia. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker, Texas Tech. Akeem Messidor, edge, Miami. Caden Proctor, tackle/guard, Alabama. Most people have him higher. I just cannot trust a big Alabama offensive lineman. Most of them just bust. Malachi Lawrence, edge, Central Florida. I absolutely love him. I'm definitely higher on him than just about everybody I've seen. Monroe Feeling, offensive tackle, Georgia. Jermon McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee. Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle, Utah. Jermon McCoy, if it wasn't for the knee issues, would probably be in the top 15, but I still didn't move him down too far because his 2024 tape is top 10, maybe top 5 caliber. Okay, who are we talking about here? Oh, we're going to talk about both linebackers. A lot of people have them in the second round. I think on consensus they're 36 and 44. But here's the thing. They're incredible players. Jacob Rodriguez is 230 pounds with short arms. I don't care. He's incredible in man coverage. He is a great tackler. He's a great blitzer. He's one of the best players in college football this past year. Forces a ton of fumbles. Turnover forcing machine. And C.J. Allen, another guy, only 230 pounds. Maybe that's why people have him go in the second round. I think they're both going in the first round of the draft. Wait till you see the 20s this year. There's not much difference between like 22, 23, and 53. So we're going to see some crazy picks, I think, in the late first round. And C.J. Allen, one of the best blitzing linebackers in this class. Really good instincts. Both these guys are going to have green dots on their helmet. I should probably have them both in the top 20. Once again, Texas Tech, underrated Big 12 player. Shocker. Okay, 20 through 11. Get some coffee. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, safety, Toledo. Dylan Thieneman, safety, Oregon. I put these guys together because they're very different styles. If you want a deep safety, a true center fielder with range, then you want Dylan Thieneman. If you want someone more in the box type safety who can blitz, who can stop the run, then you want Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Just depends what style you want. Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Washington, number 18. 17, Francis Maui-Noah, tackle guard, Miami. 16, Casey Concepcion, wide receiver, Texas A&M. I absolutely love him. One of the best separators, if not the best separator in this class. Max Ihenacher, offensive tackle, Arizona State. I always want to say Ihenacher. He's my number 1 tackle. I've talked about him a lot. His upside is a franchise left tackle. Only started playing football since 2021. Played right tackle at Arizona State. I would love for him to go to a team that has their whole offensive line established. He can sit for a year, maybe 2, and then take over. But to me, he has the upside of a franchise left tackle. Great kid, too. Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, USC. Spencer Fano, tackle guard center, Utah. I think he could play anywhere on the offensive line, maybe even left tackle. Arms are short, but he's super athletic, and he moves better than any offensive lineman in this class. His best position might eventually be center. Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. We're about to talk about him. And Oliva Venga, Ioane, guard, Penn State. Whew, I got the name right. Okay, Carnell Tate, incredible hands, great ball tracking. He's going to win every contested catch. He is faster than his 40 time. He's a deep threat. He runs really good routes. Like I said, he just struggles in press man. He's got to get better than that. Willing blocker, very good blocker in the run game. There's just so much to like about Carnell Tate. I think he's going to be a really, really good number 2 wide receiver. Dylan Thieneman, safety for Oregon. He has the best range of any safety in this class. Once again, true free safety center fielder. This is your guy. And he ran like a 4.40. That is really good for a safety. Okay, 10 through 6. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. Kenyan Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. David Bailey, edge, Texas Tech. Ruben Bain, edge, Miami. Mansur Delane, cornerback, LSU. Okay, David Bailey. Why do I have him 8th and not higher? Just like everybody else has him in the top 5. Well, first the good. He is the best get-off and maybe speed, pure edge rusher in this class. He's undisciplined. There's been some character concerns. What I mean by undisciplined is sometimes he just runs at the quarterback full speed and loses contain. There were a couple plays in the Utah game where I thought he should have gotten a sack, and he didn't. He got the pressure, but didn't get him on the ground. So it just worries me a little bit. Not a great run defender either. Let's talk about Jordan Tyson. If it wasn't for the injuries, he would be a top 10 lock, maybe even top 5 lock. He is so good at just about everything. He's not a big dude, but he's so smooth in the open field. He can get yards after catch. He runs great routes. He's got great hands. He's just so polished and so NFL ready, and he has number 1 receiver upside. Once again, the big issue with him is he's had a lot of injuries in his career. So I'm not sure where he'll go. I remember about a month ago, I saw a report that he is going top 6. He's not getting past either the Giants at 5 or Browns at 6. Then I saw another report that he could fall to the Chiefs at 29. So I have no idea what teams think of his injury past, but I'd be surprised if he got past the Giants at 10. Who else we got here? Mansur Delane, cornerback, LSU. He's got short arms, so that may ding him with some teams who really value length. But he can play man, he can play zone. He has shut down cornerback upside. Maybe not Patrick Surtain, Christian Gonzalez upside, but maybe one notch down. Love Mansur Delane in a weak top 10. I don't think he gets past, I'll say Washington at 7. I think they'd take him. Okay. 5 through 1. The most trouble I had on this list was putting these guys in order. Really, they could all be 1. They could all be 5. But Fernando Mendoza, best quarterback in this class. I've talked about him a lot. Incredible ball placement and accuracy, and just incredible person and leader. Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State. Why do I not have number 1? He's incredible. He's a generational talent at linebacker. He needs to improve as a blitzer and maybe in man coverage. But other than that, he just reminds me of Brian Urlacher. He's just so good at so many things. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame, another guy. Why isn't he number 1? Because Caleb Downs and Arvell Reese exist. You can search my channel for a breakdown on Love. Caleb Downs, he's one of the best, if not the best college safety I've ever seen. Before him, I'd say Eric Berry's probably the best college safety. Yes, even better than Kyle Hamilton, at least in college. I'm not saying Downs will be better than Kyle Hamilton in the NFL. That's going to be tough. But he reminds me of Eric Berry a little bit, but maybe better all-around game. But they both have the instincts, read and react, and explode to the ball. Both of them would break up passes. They weren't even near, like 10 yards away when the ball's in the air, and they're breaking it up. Both of them were incredible stopping screen passes. And the reason I have Arvell Reese number 1, you could put him 4 or 5, and I have no problem with that, is because of the versatility. I think he can be an elite off-ball linebacker. I think he can be an elite edge rusher. And that's a weapon. If you have a guy playing, say, in your 3-4 defense, line up on the edge, and you don't know if he's rushing the passer or dropping in coverage, that creates problems for the offense because you have to have someone blocking him, maybe 2 people. You might have to have a tight end on that side or a running back over there to double team. And if he drops in coverage, you might have a left tackle or right tackle blocking grass. And then the running back or tight end has to figure out someone else to block. And there were so many plays where he showed that he was dropping coverage and then blitzed. Usually it's the opposite. And it's because he's so explosive and so fast he was able to do that. He messed with Arch Manning's head in that week 1 game where they held Texas to 7 points. It was 14-7. It was a 1-score game. Arvell Reese was incredible in that game. There was 2 plays I got to mention. Both of them he dropped in zone coverage and had no one to cover. No one came near him. No receiver or tight end. So he's like, okay. And he decides to blitz. One of the times it led to a sack. The other, it led to a pressure that went incomplete. And you're not able to do that unless you're super fast, super explosive. It's like he dropped 5 yards down the field And then 2 seconds later, he's hitting Arch Manning. Incredible player. I think the Jets should take him at 2. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of my top 100? And who are your favorite players in the draft? My top 3 are obvious. Dallin Bentley, tight end, Utah. Ted Hurst, wide receiver, Georgia State. And Dominique Orange, big citrus, nose tackle from Iowa State. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Share this with anyone who loves football, loves the draft. Really appreciate all you guys that keep sharing the channel. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and that's big for a YouTuber because I can get monetized and get sponsors, all of that. Link for the Lights Up podcast is down below. We will recap the draft, me and Mike, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, every Tuesday night. Check out my offense and defensive rankings in these videos right here on the screen, and I'll see you in the next one.